Good morning. Thanks for joining us today for the devotion. I'm going to do a disclaimer right off the bat because today talks about our money, and I know sometimes there's a nerve attached to our wallet that tightens up when anybody talks about our money, but calm down. I'm not going to ask for an offering or anything. I'm just going to look at what the Word says. And today, in our passage, there were 2 points that really got my attention. The first one was Paul reminding us that we're part of something bigger, that we're part of the local church, but we're also connected internationally in the global church. And secondly, the importance of being intentional in our giving. And so let's look at that and look at those 2 points and how Paul ties them together. And what Paul is teaching these new believers is that it's important that we're connected to and investing in our local church. You know, all of us ought to have an investment strategy. And what Paul is telling us is that a key part of our investment strategy, in fact, in one of his other writings, he says the first part of our investment strategy should be investing first and foremost in that household of faith, the family of God, our local church, but not just our local church, that we ought to be concerned about the health of the church internationally. That we ought to be investing our time, talent, and resources in the kingdom. We ought to have a kingdom investment strategy. See, there's lots of organizations, good organizations, that are asking for your time, your talent, and your treasures. But Paul is telling us that, hey, those are good ones, and they're worth investing, or some of them's worth investing in. But first and foremost, make sure you're investing heavily in the kingdom of God. There's no other organization in the world that can transform our own community and communities worldwide like the local church and the church internationally. The second thing Paul tells us is we ought to be intentional about that giving. That it ought not be just something we do accidentally or every now and then, but that every week as part of our budget, we ought to make giving something we do, that we budget for our giving. And he says be intentional about that. Set it aside and be intentional about that and invest in your church. And here's what I want to tell you from personal experience, that when we are heavily invested in the kingdom of God, Jesus said this. He said, wherever your treasure is, that's where your heart will be. And what Paul's telling us is, it's important to guard your heart in your attitudes towards your local church and the church internationally. And look, I know the church is flawed. Why? Because she's filled up with people like me and you, and we're flawed. But she's the hope of the world. And Paul is saying, let's be intentional about investing our time, talent, and treasure into the church, locally and internationally, and make that a part of your investment strategy. And Cheryl and I could tell you from our own experience that when you do, it will pay rich dividends, not only in financial blessings, but the way more important blessings of sharing in the promotion of the life-giving gospel of Jesus Christ to your community and to the world. And that's the only thing you're going to take to heaven with you anyway, is souls won by the gospel of Jesus Christ. So I hope this was encouraging to you, and I hope you have a great week. See you soon.